This is the book of John 1 and 44, and it reads, Now Philip was of Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Verse 45, Philip findeth Nathanael, and said unto him, We have found him, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Yahushua of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Verse 46, And Nathanael said unto him, Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip said unto him, Come and see. And here's a point. Yahushua saw Nathanael coming to him, and said of him, Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Makakodash, Brakatham. Double honor shall go to apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, who continue to teach and to rule well. Shalom to the Akims of Great Millstone and like-minded camps and individuals who continue to teach us as one body, who continue to be out on the highways and byways, risking their lives for the greater good. And also shalom to the sincere Akwats, who are continuously learning in silence, as the Holy Scriptures have commanded for you to do so. This is Azariah Gabar, representing the King is Coming channel, back at it with another lesson for edification purposes. All right. So, this yet another beautiful and sanctified lesson shall concentrate on Israelite Indeed. Because, simply put, many of you two-third Jakes out there who proclaim to be Christians still possess this false narrative that the Israelites are done away with, that they were just in the Old Testament. They're just in the Old Testament. But now we're in the New Testament and it's all about Christianity. Wrong, wrong, wrong. All right? Because when we go to John 1 and 47, I'm going to read again. Yahushua saw Nathanael coming to him and said of him, Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. Now, for you folks that are not in the know, you're probably going to be like, well, what does guile mean? What does guile mean? Simply put, it means no blasphemous communication, no lying. All right? So, what it comes down to is that Israelites are the true chosen people of Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Makakodash, Brakatham. All right? Because if you don't believe what I'm saying, when it's coming down to this, we're going to go to the book of Romans 9 and 3, because this was a scripture from a prior lesson. Because you two-thirds, y'all going to probably say, oh, well, that don't mean anything. All right. So we go to that book of Romans 9 and 3, and it reads, For I could wish that myself were accursed from Mashiach, for my brethren or brother, my kinsmen according to the flesh. Here's a point. Verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises. All right, so, this scripture is talking about the 144,000 of the election that's going to provide the law and enforce the law or the service of Yahweh with the iron rod and the promises of everlastingness in the kingdom. You heard? So, I have a question for you. So, pick sense out of nonsense, all right? Like my mother used to tell me all the time when I was a child. Pick sense out of nonsense because, simply put, if according to the book of John 1 and 47, when Yahushua saw Nathanael coming to him and said of him, "Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile." Now, if Yahushua was a Christian, wouldn't he have said, "Behold, a Christian indeed, in whom is no guile"? Like my man Special Ed back in the day, he had a song, think about it, about it. But you guys are not going to think about it because y'all so simple. Unfortunately, y'all simple. And you're going to continue to follow after these wolves in sheep's clothing past the pork chop pastors. And like the scripture says, the blind shall lead the blind, and everyone's going to fall into the ditch, roughly paraphrasing. So you guys are going to continue to head towards your eventual damnation. All right? So here's a fun-filled fact for you Christians. And you could take it and slice it and dice it any way you want, but it's still facts. Did you know that the term Israel or Yasharallah is mentioned in the Bible around 2,300 to 2,500 times? I repeat, the term Israel is mentioned in the Bible around 2,300 to 2,500 times. Woo! Now that's a cut within itself. So as you can see here, all right? So I am not making this up, all right? Now, I'm sure you Christians don't know this, but I'm gonna mention it to you. Let the cat out of the bag. Did you know that the word Christian is mentioned 3 times in the Bible? All right? 3 times in the Bible. All right? So the proof is in the pudding. All right? So you got these clowns running around in the likes of Vocab Malone, who want to portray this false narrative that the Edomites were done away with. All right? And basically, it's individuals like him, because he's an Edomite, he wants to get you people to believe that the Edomites were done away with. It was just in the Old Testament. But when we go to the book of Romans 11 and 1, and it reads, Well, actually, Salakia. But I'm going to roughly paraphrase it, excuse me, in the book of Romans, which read, and I'm just roughly paraphrasing right now, Jacob I loved, but Esau I hated. Okay? So there you go. There you go. So Esau is mentioned in the New Testament. But what it is that these Edomites, what they're trying to do, especially in these last days, they're trying to convince you guys that they have all these other identities other than Esau Edom. They're attempting to run away and hide from their true identifications of being Esau Edom. Okay? So another scripture, Slakia, to point out about Israelites is when we go to the book of Romans 11:1, and it reads, I say then, hath Yahweh cast away his people? Yahweh forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So Apostle Paul is a Benjamite. Yahweh Shai, Mashiach himself, is an Israelite. All right? Because in the scriptures, I'm going to roughly paraphrase, it says, evidently, or it is evident, or it's a fact that Yahushua sprang out of the tribe of Judah. You heard? So Yahushua is a Judite. So there you go. Because you have a lot of these wacky tacky pastors and church members. I've seen them on YouTube plenty of times talking about you need to leave the Bible alone. The holy book is for the Christians only. It's not for the Hebrew Israelites. Leave us alone. Leave the Bible alone. It's for the Christians. Well, you dumb, you know what? I just gave you the 100% truth. And I showed you the 100% truth. That Yasharallah dominates the Bible. We're the real deal. The Holy Scriptures, the Holy Book, the little book, belongs to us. You heard? So stop player hating. You know, there's a saying, don't hate, educate. Y'all heard? So this is going to conclude this very valuable and spiritual lesson for today. Hopefully someone was edified from it, Lord willing. Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Makah, Kodash, Brakatam. All praises, honor, and glory shall always go unto you. Kwam Yasharallah, rise Israel. So, Lord willing, on to the next. Shalom.